The Ventriloquist's Law of Power. How to become irreplaceable and control everything. The Invisible Master, the secret of dependence that builds power. Have you ever watched a ventriloquist show and wondered who really holds the power? The puppet, with its sharp tongue and vibrant personality, or the ventriloquist, with his almost motionless lips and calculating eyes? The 11th law of power warns us, learn to keep people dependent on you. And the dark truth behind this law is that true influence doesn't lie in being the center of attention, it lies in becoming the invisible force that pulls the strings. Just as the puppet completely relies on the hands and voice of its master, the dependence you create in others can be the strongest chain that keeps you in control. We are taught to value independence, self-sufficiency. We want to be the masters of our own destiny. But take a closer look at the world around you. The gears of power spin around interdependence, often in an unbalanced way. A leader depends on his followers, an artist on their audience, a master on their apprentices. The key to applying Law 11 is not to cruelly exploit weakness, but to become the fundamental piece, the essential link that keeps the system running. Just as the ventriloquist provides voice and life to the puppet, you can become the source of something crucial to those around you: knowledge, resources, solutions, even entertainment. The power of the ventriloquist lies in his ability to make the puppet appear alive and essential. Without him, the puppet is nothing more than wood and cloth. Likewise, your strategy should be to create a situation where your absence is felt deeply. Don't be replaceable. Develop unique skills. Cultivate specialized knowledge. Position yourself as the one who holds the key to solving problems. The dependence you create doesn't need to be obvious or forced. It can be subtle, almost imperceptible, but extremely effective. People need to feel that, in some way, their lives would be harder, less efficient, or less interesting without your presence and contributions. The mindset behind Law 11 is not about tyranny, but about strategic influence. You're not chaining people to you by force, you're creating ties of mutual necessity. Think of an inventor who holds the patent for a groundbreaking technology. He becomes indispensable for companies that want to use it. His influence is not imposed, but rather a natural consequence of the value he offers. In the same way, by becoming an irreplaceable source of value, you position yourself at the center of power, subtly pulling the strings like a master ventriloquist. Practical action. Identify a person or group in your life, whether at work, in your family, or in your social circles, that you'd like to have more influence over. Analyze their needs. Where are the gaps? What do they struggle to do or obtain? Start developing skills or offering solutions specifically for those needs. Don't give everything at once. Become gradually essential, like a ventriloquist who slowly breathes life into his puppet, making it increasingly fascinating and indispensable to the audience. If you're ready to become the invisible master and exercise your power subtly and strategically, hit the like button to show it. Comment the word master so I'll know you're ready to pull the strings of your destiny. And subscribe to the channel, because we're going to explore the art of creating need and how it makes you truly irreplaceable. The false freedom: how to create unbreakable bonds of need. The puppet may even believe that its voice is its own. It may feel free, funny, in control of the audience's attention. But the harsh truth is that its voice belongs to the master, and without him, the puppet is nothing but silence and wood. The law of the ventriloquist teaches us one of the subtlest strategies of power: the art of creating need. True power isn't about being a solution. It's about being the only solution. It's about becoming an irreplaceable resource. Most people try to be helpful. They offer assistance, knowledge, favors, but by doing so, they become just one option among many. Your goal should be to become a category of your own. Those who master Law 11 don't just solve problems, they anticipate them, position themselves as the only ones who can prevent or fix them. It's like a doctor specialized in a rare disease. He doesn't worry about competition, because he created a market around his own expertise. Think of an office. The one who truly has power isn't the loudest speaker, but the one holding the most crucial information or the unique skill no one else has. Maybe he's the only person who knows how to operate an outdated but essential software, the only one with access to a key contact, or the only one who can fix a recurring technical issue. He doesn't need to shout or brag. He just is. And his mere existence guarantees that when chaos strikes, people will come running to him. That's when he wields real power. The dependence promoted by Law 11 isn't about imprisoning people, it's about becoming so valuable that the thought of living without your influence feels painful. You become a source of power, a fortress of knowledge, a strategy of success. What you offer is not just a solution, it's a guarantee. You become the one who subtly guides others without them even realizing it, just like a ventriloquist with his puppet. They believe they're controlling the conversation, but in reality, they're only following your script. Practical action: identify a person or group you want to influence. Now, list 3 recurring problems they face that no one else can solve. It could be a complex work task, a personal challenge, or a connection only you can provide. Choose one of these areas and start mastering it. Become the go-to specialist. Then, when the need arises, offer the solution. Your goal is not to play savior, but to become the indispensable resource. If you're ready to create bonds of dependence that give you real power, hit the like button to show it. Comment the word indispensable so I'll know you're ready to master the art of influence. And subscribe to the channel, because we'll dive deeper into the psychology of making people need your presence. The hidden psychology turning absence into silent power. What's scarier, the predator you see, or the one you can't see but know is out there? The law of the ventriloquist is not only about presence, it's also about absence. The master isn't always on stage. He hides in the shadows. He lets the puppet shine. And when the puppet needs him, the audience feels his power even when he isn't visible. The psychology behind this is subtle, but brutally effective. Dependence isn't just about what you give, it's also about what you withhold. We are conditioned to always be available, to answer emails and messages immediately, to lend a hand whenever someone asks. But by doing this, you become predictable. You become common, and a common resource can always be replaced. A true master of influence, however, understands the psychology of absence. He knows that scarcity makes his presence more valuable. He knows that by stepping back, he creates a vacuum. And people hate the void. They will do anything to fill it, and in the process, they will remember who truly holds the power. Think of a leader who is always available. He solves every problem, gives every answer, takes every responsibility. What happens? People grow lazy. They stop thinking for themselves. They become puppets without a ventriloquist. But a leader who understands the art of absence does the opposite. He steps back. He forces his team to make their own decisions. He forces them to grow stronger. And by doing so, he makes them more dependent on his knowledge and vision. That dependency is the chain that keeps them tied to him. Law 11 is not about enslaving people, it's about becoming so valuable that the idea of losing your influence feels painful. You become a fortress of knowledge, a beacon of strategy, source of certainty. What you offer isn't just a solution, it's a guarantee. You become the invisible force that guides others without them realizing it. Like a ventriloquist, you make them believe they are in control of the conversation, when in truth, they're only following your script. Practical action: choose a group or person where you are the one solving every problem and giving every answer. For 1 week, force yourself to step back. Let them solve their own issues. Let them feel your absence. Don't worry about looking selfish, you're training them to grow stronger. And when they feel the weight of that void, they will remember your value. They will remember your power. If you're ready to become the invisible presence that dominates everything, hit the like button. Comment the word ghost so I'll know you're ready to master the psychology of absence. And subscribe, because next we'll combine all these lessons to forge your most powerful weapon. The Master's Triumph, the final strategy to become unstoppable. If you've made it this far, it means your mind is no longer that of an amateur. You've embraced dependence as a weapon, need as a tool, and absence as your greatest strategy. But what happens when you combine all of these weapons into one? You become the master of your own narrative. You're no longer a player, you're the creator of the game. And your mentality becomes a riddle no one can solve. The amateur tries to win on the battlefield created by others. He competes with strength, speed, noise, But the true master strategist doesn't compete, he redefines the game. His strategy isn't about winning, it's about making others lose. He doesn't need to speak to prove his power. He moves silently, observes, acts unexpectedly, and lets his influence speak for itself. Think of the ventriloquist. He doesn't just control the puppet, he controls the audience. He makes them laugh, cry, feel moved. He makes them believe the puppet is alive. And his power isn't in what his voice says, but in what it doesn't. He becomes the focal point in any environment. People wonder, what does he know that I don't? And that question alone gives him total control. Silence becomes his way of making his mere existence a strategy of power. Practical action. Create your own master ritual every morning. Before facing your daily battles, sit for 5 minutes. First, remind yourself that dependence is not your enemy, it's your ally. Think of one thing you can do today to become more indispensable. Then, remind yourself of the power of absence. Think about how you can use it to create need. Finally, reaffirm your focus on your main goal. What truly matters today? What will make you feel you lived with purpose? This 5-minute morning ritual is your armor, your weapon, sharpening your mental preparation for power. The outside world may collapse, but within your mind, you remain in total control. The game is over, and your new game is just beginning. Your strategy to dominate through dependence is already in your hands. Hit the like button if this journey has transformed you. Comment the word master so I'll know you already see yourself as the maestro you were born to be. Subscribe and share this video with those still struggling with their own lack of power. Because the world is full of puppets. And now you are the ventriloquist.